New single, it's called I'm Coming With You, and it's out November the 3rd. It's Late Night Radio 2 with Matt Goss.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well.
I believe the last time we saw each other was where the big ones hang out.
I'm sorry, this is because your memory is far too good.
No, I saw it a couple of minutes ago, so I know it's big.
When I worked at the other firm, we had a radio feature on a wacky little pub station in London, which was called The Record Race. And the idea was that we pitched two big records of the time, and listeners would vote into their fate, which one is the one you prefer. The previous record of about 3 months had been held by George Michael and Faith.
Right.
Along come these guys called Bros, with their new single, which I think was I Owe You Nothing.
Yes.
And it stayed at number one in the record race for about, I think it was about 4 weeks or something ridiculous. And no one ever came close.
I remember that.
And I think that was the last time I met... No, the last time I met you was actually at some very big lunch. And we were washing our hands in the gentleman's cloakroom. And,
like you do.
And you said, what are you doing? And you were about to shoot off and take a dive, weren't you? And go to Los Angeles and... I think the phrase is chill.
Chill for quite some time. And... I hit puberty and my life changed.
Yeah.
But it was quite a long time. It was longer than I thought it would be anyway. So.
How old are you now then?
I'm 34.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're not.
Still a youngster, mate.
Listen, can we just get the Bros stuff out of the way first of all?
Okay.
Because we saw you rise meteorically.
Yeah.
Boom, all of a sudden. When Will I Be Famous, I thought was a fantastic little pop record of its time.
Right.
And you were so big, and in like, oh, blimey, in the span of a decade, you sold 16 million records or something crazy.
16 million, yeah.
It finished just as quickly as it started, didn't it?
Well, I found out pretty much that it was over the same time as the public did. I read the newspapers that morning, and it was a shock to me. We went in at number 9. I remember we went straight in at number 9. In today's standards, that's still considered quite an achievement. And the press said that morning, "Is this the end of Bros?" Because we didn't go into number 1 or 2. Mm. And my brother called me up and said, "I'm done. We can't keep this up." So he effectively left the band, and 30 days later I moved to Los Angeles.
And that was it.
But our last concert was Wembley Stadium. I mean, that's the crazy thing, because I now realise after doing 20 shows to small theatres, but still having the time of my life, how hard that is to achieve, to actually get... I think I'm still the youngest man to have ever headlined there. So.
Yeah. Wham's last gig was Wembley Stadium.
Yep.
You're in good company.
Yep.
What did it feel like? Silly question, I know, but not many of us have experienced that. What did it feel like to be that famous that quickly? Because you were all over the place.
Well, in a strange way, it genuinely felt strangely all right. I mean, I felt quite comfortable, but it was...
the good bits must have been fantastic.
Yeah, they were incredible. I mean, you get to... 15 nights consecutively at Wembley Arena, you know that's your home for 3 weeks with days off. That's just the most ridiculous feeling.
Say that more slowly, because 15... I don't know anybody who does 15 nights at Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, it was... I remember our first tour, they put 5 nights on at Hammersmith, and we were like, no. And then they added a Wembley, and it was actually affected me more the first time I ever walked in and thought, how can we get 12,000 people in it? And then... you put it onto the stadium level, and there's no part of you that thinks that you can get that many people into one venue. But, I feel very blessed to have experienced it, so...
I do remember the only time in my life I think I've ever heard, when it gets so loud, audiences get so loud, the screaming gets so loud that you can't hear it anymore. All you feel is your ears rattling.
Yeah.
And I was at Wembley when you were going on stage, and I was on stage in front of you before, just getting everybody to cheer before you came on. One night, and I couldn't actually hear me. Well, it was just my ears were rattling. I thought, I think I'm going to be sick.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, there's nothing like that. You've got to try standing backstage and just hearing, like, they used to like stamp their feet as well before we came on. And it was just like a surreal moment. Like, just every sense was stimulated.
It felt like an earthquake.
Yeah, it was an incredible moment.
How do you cope with the drop?
Well, I think everyone... I mean, I just think life is about flavours, and I like flavourful food, and I think that it's the same with my life. If I just thought it was always going to be like that, then I wouldn't be... I'm a dreamer, but I'm also a realist. I understand that when you're that high, there's only one place you can go, and that's down. I think now, coming back and doing the tour and seeing such a great response on the record, I'm just... as corny as it may sound, I feel very blessed just to be still considered a contender, and... I'm having a great time. This is the best time I've had.
Face the Wind is the new album, and you've got your guitar here. And
Yeah.
is this the track that's not on the album you're going to play us, or what?
Well, I've just written this, and I just really love it, and I'm actually gonna record it in the next week or so. So I'm gonna definitely, it's definitely gonna make the record.
All right, Matt Goss with us on Late Night Radio 2. What's this called?
This is called Fly.